So they can come at him if they want to. They didn't try it before. They tried it. They didn't subpoena him in the court, no trumped up charges. And he sent his legal team down there and they shut him down. But the whole thing being is the minister is persona non grata now. If they do something to the minister, it can make the whole country go up because of what we have actually going on right now. Mm-hmm. Not what people see with the naked eye, but what y'all don't see. These truces that the mediators between Bloods and Crips and Vice Lords and GDs and BDs and Stone are being facilitated, meaning that the minister has authorized certain members in the nation to be the mediator between opposing sides of warring factions of us to bring us back together in unity. And right now is such a critical time that if they come in messing with the minister, depending on how they approach him, right, it's not going to go good. Mm-hmm. It's a bad idea.
I'm telling you.
It's a bad idea, right? Because one, he's up in age. And even if we was not on his direct security team, when we have somebody who gets to become an elder up in age like that, with the amount of wisdom that he has, and that doesn't cry to his people, right, on a daily basis about the injustices being done to him personally, while he's fighting the injustices being done to all of us, mm-hmm. we naturally develop a defense mechanism to protect them. And it can make the whole shit go sideways. Idea.
I'm telling you.
It's not a good idea to shoot at him. It's not a good idea to arrest him. It's not a good idea to hit him with an egg. It's just not a good idea. Now, sometimes you got people in high places that deliberately do the worst idea possible. They deliberately do dumb stuff on purpose. But that would be one of the dumbest moves to make, especially when you have us waking up to the fabricated case against Malachi, the fabricated case against H. Rap Brown, the fabricated case against Assata Shakur, the fabricated case against all these political prisoners. That we realize they lost their whole life in the struggle for our freedom, right? And they've been sitting in a cage because they scared they're going to tell us we was already here.
Right.
So they have shut them up. So right now we at a point where enough is enough. You can go and tell the governor of New Jersey you need to pardon Assata Shakur ASAP. Full pardon, no restrictions.
Go ahead.
Trump can't do it because it's not a Fed case, so he'd have been did it already. Right? Yeah. But it's a full pardon is what she needs. And then after the pardon, we need y'all to get out. We can have a Assata Shakur Black Girl Magic Parade all the way through the turnpike of New Jersey.
Right.
Right? We need this. It's going to happen. Whether it happens sooner or whether it happens later, we're not letting our sister leave this planet without being able to come home unmolested. It's not going to happen. Right? And you're not going to be able to keep holding political prisoners. Right? And we got alliances with people that the government created crimes and told us they was the criminals, like El Chapo.
Right.
I'm going to come to that in 1 minute. So when we making truces in these prison cells, prison yards, we got all verbal agreements, right? Both Larry and Jeff got treaties and agreements with different biker sects.
Right.
Right? Then you have OGs like Matula Shakur broker treaties with the Weather Underground. A lot of y'all don't know who they are, but they pale faces that was fighting the government the same way we was. Mm-hmm. the Shakur's biggest alliance is the Black Panther Zapatista alliance. Most of us don't know what the hell we're talking about right now, right? But when you look up the Zapatista, named after Emilio Zapata, and you look up the Panthers, you're going to find that their roles converge with a treaty. And Tupac was the prince of the Panthers. And the dude that they called the Mexican Machiavelli,
Yeah,
I forgot his name, but he was the prince of the Zapatista. Right? They end up killing him. Right? He did his last concert. They wrote him a death note, sent him the death note. He still did his concert. And I'd have been trying to figure out a way out.
Me too.
But we got so many tribal leadership that we don't even know about. Like most of us didn't know who Chief Warhorse was. I've been watching her for years because my mama told me I was looking for some lady named Warhorse.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'ma know her because she'd tell you I'll whoop a man ass like I'll whoop a woman ass. And she got this is the part that let me know I was all the way on track with what my mama told me and how I interpret what she told me and look for it in the world outside. It's a lecture Chief Warhorse doing. And she in the gym. And she telling you how she got her name Warhorse, right? And who named her Chief Warhorse. And when she go into the story, she quoted my mama word for word, and they never met in this lifetime, person to person. It's no way. Blew my mind. Right? Mm-hmm. Just what my mama told me came out that lady's mouth. That's how I know who I'm fighting with.
Mm-hmm.
You know. So we gotta be aware that even though it looked like we losing, we been won this shit. As Tupac would have said, this is chess, not checkers. We would have been hollering checkmate 3 years ago if we wasn't trying to get the imposters out.
Right.
Which is what? 33 years ago now? 22.
96.
Yeah, 26 years ago.
So it'd be, what, 4? Yeah, 6, 26, 20. Nah, 29.
You know.
29, like
yeah.
29. Yeah.
Anyway, if we don't figure out the part that they look like us, but they ain't us.
Right.
Right. Shame on us. Trying to run the blame on us. Hey, look, ODB was so potent that the rest of the Wu-Tang was scared of what's going to come out of his mouth next.
No.
But ODB played the Crazy Horse character so well. The only person as good as him that I've seen is 607 Up.
Mm-hmm.
607 Up can ride that Warhorse energy. That Crazy Horse energy, and tell you the whole rundown, everything you need to know. Keep thinking he crazy if you want to.
Mm-hmm. I can see it.
And I never met him personally. I just listen to what he's saying, and I'm reading the energy, and I'm like, oh yeah, I know what he's talking about. I know what he on.
Yeah.
So,
wait. I thought you was finished.
Diamond Life said, ask Rod about the jinn. So, in Islamic tradition, the jinn is supposed to be made of a smokeless, gasless fire, and that they can be used in sorcery as agents of conjure, and they supposed to be your Islamic equivalent to the devil, demons.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, that being said, that's all a bunch of crock of BS. All jinn is namesake. That's it. It's a namesake of a person that has a right to a certain bloodline's wealth. And this is why if you go and read all of the stories that they tell about them, the genie in the bottle and all that, they all come bringing wealth. They tell you that if something bad happened, blame it on the jinn. Jinn just getting a dirty name for no reason. Leave jinn out of it. Jinn is innocent. Jinn don't got nothing to do. Jinn is so busy taking care of wealth that jinn don't got time to worry about your poverty. But if you make friends with jinn, then your wealth gonna come sooner or later. This is all part of the Catholic Church's doing. Most of us believe that Islam is some organically derived, spontaneous prophecy given to Muhammad. But the whole Muhammad story is some made-up bullshit. The only thing they got right is the bloodlines involved. The Abu Bakr bloodline, the Muhammad Ahmed Alamin bloodline, and the people around them. And the story played out over and over again throughout the years.
Like, I asked you a question about that jinn, the jinns.
Mm-hmm.
I heard you gave a description on what the Quran and what they say it's like a gas, right? Now, what if it's a scientific side to it where that jinn or that gas is bad gas or some kind of bacteria or something that get in your body and be like an adversity or cause adversity?
Man, the only question that would arise from that point was, did they discover the gas and then name it jinn?
Right, yeah, something like that. Go ahead.
You know what I'm saying? Because this is how they do us.
Yeah.
Kings being kings. Right? But the naming stuff after the fact and the lapse of time between when they renamed it and when you first discover it can be significant enough to confuse how you perceive it now.
Yeah, that's right. I can see that.
Right. Like, for instance, I had a book, dictionary of slang that was written in the 70s. Right? It's out of print now. But it's packed down in some of my books if it ain't get destroyed with some that got water damage. But in this book, square pants was a slang term for homosexual.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody don't know that. So they don't know but SpongeBob gay. So when I've been telling the SpongeBob is gay all the time, they look at me like I'm crazy. Like, where you get that from?
Yeah.
These damn square pants. And then they laugh and be like, what that mean? They don't even know it mean gay. So they telling me, because I'm privy to this information, and they not, that I don't know what I'm talking about. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So there's a whole lot of stuff that was in that book that the way we use it now is not how it was being used in prior to, even the word gang. The word gang mean tribe.
Right.
We didn't know it was a glorified term for a ragtag band of youth that reconstituted a tribe. Right? Mm-hmm. When we was watching the Bowery Boys. The Little Rascals used to be called Our Gang. We forgot about that. Right? They was making movies in the 50s glorifying gang culture. You gotta remember, one of the biggest actors in 1950s gang style movies was a guy named Mickey Rooney.
Mickey Rooney.
Right? He played in the Bowery Boys. Right? So our historical understanding of some of the words they tell us in the rebranding of the word in order to demonize it, like the word conspiracy.
Right.
All conspiracy really mean is two or more people made an agreement to do something and one of them tried to get it done. That's all it means. It's 5 elements to conspiracy, but when you put it all into a sentence, that's what it means. 2 people came together and made a plan and tried to one of them tried to follow through with the plan. right? Now, a conspiracy theorist is, I don't know this to be true, but I believe those people were working together in a conspiracy, a plan to accomplish something nefarious in relation to us, and we ought to watch them. I become a conspiracy theorist for exposing the conspirators and their conspiracy. And then they made it sound like the word conspiracy theory means a mentally unstable crackpot, like they did Manson. They treated Manson. Just yourself. Why? He the first whistleblower on record. This is the reason they wanted to shut him up. He started telling about MK Ultra, you know, and then all of them other people, the government set him up. It is what it is.
Somebody asked Atlan, what's your perspective on Atlan's Atlas? Do it say Atlas? Got my name glass.
Atlas is another name for map. And there's also the Greek god Atlas, who's supposed to be holding the world on his shoulder. I don't really know what he's asking, so I don't really know how to answer the question.
What is Atlas? Atlas Scruggs. I remember a book called Atlas Scruggs.
Anyway,
yeah.
That's the post-apocalyptic story. It's similar to the Hunger Games.
Yeah.
But it not quite as dramatic.
Somebody says any connect. Damn, this damn thing moving so damn fast. I can't even. What? Under the
they ain't
ice.
just under the ice no more. They coming up. They fully functional down there. They don't just live. They was under the ice for a while, and they was able to telepathically tell scientists how to throw them out where they don't die, and it worked. The Bashinga tribe. They try to tell us that they brought them from Africa and turned them loose in Antarctica. They'd be dead in a day. If that's what they did, they'd be dead in a day. You're not going to take some people straight from Africa to cold ass Antarctica, and they ain't gonna live a day. They're not gonna live a day. First of all, the ice terrain, they have to learn how to navigate it.
Yeah.
And these people do not walk around in no Eskimo gear. They walk around like the African tribes in Africa walk around out in the bush.
Yeah, but
with tribal dress on in Antarctica.
Almost butter naked, like Bonnie Mac, butter naked, but naked. It says, what are your thoughts on chemical busters to counter the dirty electricity and a harmonics frequency of the cellular towers?
I haven't looked into that. I don't know nothing about it, but I do know the chem busters is one of the names for the counter chemtrail spraying that they doing, and but for the dirty current electricity, I don't know if it have anything to do with that. Cell towers. The only thing you do to defend from the cell towers is diodes. For those who want to know more about the diode, look up the Meta Institute in Chicago, founded by what's the other name? You remember your daughter?
Say it again. The Institute of what?
The Meta Institute. It was founded by Dr. Deborah Blair.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Dr. Deborah Blair. But they was the first ones making diodes to neutralize the radioactive output of microwaves and telephones and stuff like that. They the originators of the technology, just so y'all know. So they thinking that the diodes for cleaning up those dirty currents came from somebody else. Somebody else made them, but Dr. Delbert Blair was the first one to put the diodes out in the public market for us to be able to neutralize those currents. The cell phones, the radio towers, microwave ovens, stuff like that, all of those are dirty frequencies that's being used for the purposes that they're using them for. But they don't have to do that. They know how to clean it up. They just leave it dirty because they know the negative side effect, and they want to apply the negative side effect as well as the function of the device.
Women, I guess it's feminine versus masculine.
So the 5-point star is called a pentagram. And it was originally the symbol of the woman, unless it's upside down. We go to the upside down another time. But the regular 5-point star is the symbol of the woman, also referred to as the star of Venus, for a reason. Venus is another name for Mother Mary, right?
Okay.
And another name for Lucifer, bright morning star, is Venus. Venus is the star that comes over the horizon right before the sun. And it sets right before the sun. And now, on the heels of Venus is Mercury. Right? So, I'm not going to go into that right now because he asked this from the 5-point star to 6-point star. Now, the 6-point star, also called a hexagram, the 6-point star originally was the symbol for man. Right? And that the 5 and the 6 became different things to different cultures over time. In European culture, the 6-point star became the star Jupiter, which was originally an 8-point star. And the hexagram became the symbol for usage in certain European occult doctrines. Whereas, on the other hand, the 5-point star, the star of Venus, represented the divine feminine. Over here, we would call the pentagon, and the pentagon is the war machine. So you see what they do. They took the divine feminine, Venus, and turned her into the war machine, the pentagon.